Another one down there. Oh, gotta dig for them this time of year, huh? Try to get the snow off. Good job, buddy. Alright, here's one again. Where's Bradley? Bradley! Yay! How many did you get, P?
3.
3?
Yeah.
Alright, let's keep looking. Huh?
There's a little one.
Yeah? Four. How many is that?
5.
All right, awesome. Those will work good, P.
Yeah.
All right, you guys, welcome back to the channel. Today is a gorgeous day here in Alaska. Sun shining, it's like in the 30s as far as the temperature, and it is just the perfect day to get outside with Parker and do a really fun project. So it's Sunday, we don't have school today. Joe's working on plowing the driveway. We got a little bit of snow, and I thought this would be really fun to do this project with Parker that I've been thinking about for quite a while. I have to say though, I did not come up with this idea. In fact, one of our subscribers saw us restocking our firewood, and as we were dropping trees, pine cones were falling, and they were like, why don't you do pine cone fire starters? So that's what Parker and I are going to do today. We have a ton of pine cones out here. They're a little bit buried because we've had so much snow, but we're going to collect some of these pine cones, take them inside, and do some DIY fire starters for Joe. Joe is typically the fire maker in the cabin. We heat solely off of wood heat for the most part. We do have a wall propane heater, but that's just on at a very low temperature just to keep the chill off the cabin and to keep it from freezing on days that we're out for a day or two, to keep the cabin from freezing over. So we typically live on wood burning heat every day, actually. Since the day we moved into this cabin, there has not been a day where a fire has not been going. So usually Joe uses newspaper or whatever to kind of get that started if we don't already have embers in the wood stove, and of course kindling wood and stuff. But I thought it'd be super fun and super cute to make these little pine cone fire starters, put them in a little bucket or a little basket by the wood stove, and that way whenever Joe or me needs to start a fire, toss some of those pine cones in there and it should be pretty easy. And pine cones are something that we have unlimited out here. It's a natural resource, and not only that, aesthetically, you guys know I like my cabin to look cute and cozy. I think it would be super adorable to have a little basket of these fire starters, these little pine cone fire starters, next to the wood stove, so anytime we need to start a fire to heat the cabin, toss one of those bad boys in there and we should be good to go. We have enough, but if we need more, we can always come back and get more. I'm just excited to make them and like try them out and see if how they work. Yeah. Oh, look, P. Look. There's another one. Can you get it? Yeah, that's a big one. Yeah. You got it? Look at Bradley. He's like, what'd you get? What'd you get?
Can't play with this, Bradley.
Yeah. All right, P. What do you say? Should we head inside?
Yeah.
Make these bad boys up. I got some beeswax and some salt out. You got some melting snow on your face. I'm so glad it's not freezing out here today. All right, you guys, Parker and I are back in the cabin and we are getting ready to make these pine cone fire starters. Super easy. I'm gonna link the items in the description that we used for this. pine cones, beeswax, salt, and then you need some type of like, you know, double boiler situation on the stove to melt down that beeswax. But that's pretty much all you need for these really easy DIY fire starters. All right, so we are just going to line the counter here with a little bit of parchment paper, and that way when we take the pine cones out of the wax, we can set them onto the parchment paper to dry. You can use wax paper, I mean whatever you want, but this is all I have. So we're gonna use the parchment paper here. Once we take them out of the melted beeswax, we're gonna let them dry, and then we're gonna dunk them back in the beeswax for a second coat. All right. So I'm just gonna turn on my burner, get my water heated up. So you can really use whatever you want to do this in, but this is kind of like a double boiler setup. I just have a regular pan with a wire metal grating at the bottom that I took out of my water bath canner to use, and then a glass jar. So that way the glass won't break because it's not touching the bottom of the pan. All right, so I'm just using beeswax. I got this on Amazon. I can link it for you guys. I use this for all kinds of projects. I have a bunch of extra here in the mason jar, but I really don't think we're gonna need all this. We just need a light coating of the beeswax on our pine cone, so I'm just gonna start out with this one bag here, and if we end up needing more, I can always add more later. Good job. All right, so that heat's gonna melt it down, but we need to stir it a little bit as it goes, okay? Now, whatever you guys are using with your beeswax, make sure that it's something that you don't care about, because it's kind of hard to get the beeswax off after. So I don't really care about this glass jar that I'm using. In fact, when I'm done with it, I'm gonna set it under the kitchen sink and just keep it for my future beeswax projects. And then I'm having Parker use a wooden spoon that's old and I don't care about it. And I'll probably save that spoon for my beeswax projects as well. But just a little tip, don't use your good stuff because it's hard to get the beeswax off. It's bubbling because it's boiling, bud. So we're just gonna keep stirring it, and before you know it, all that beeswax is going to melt completely down to liquid.
When we did this before.
We've done these kind of projects before, huh?
Yeah, at the Bad Town house.
Yep. All right, so while Parker's over there melting down the beeswax, I have some string here that I've cut for the pine cones. You can use string, thin wire, whatever you want, but yarn is something I have a lot of. So the idea is we're gonna tie a string to each pine cone so that we can lower the pine cone down into the beeswax without burning our fingers. And I saw some other people that wrap the wire all the way around it. I don't know. I just quick and easy. Y'all know I need to just keep it simple. So what I did is I just grabbed a few of these wood shish kebab sticks because we had a ton of them, and so I can throw them away when we're done. But we're gonna lower the pine cones down into the wax, and then hopefully just use these little shish kebab sticks to kind of roll them around in the wax, get them nice and coated, and then we'll put them on parchment paper. How's it going?
Look at the spoon.
Yeah.
Oh, smell it. Smells like honey.
It does smell like honey because it is from bees. It's beeswax.
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
You guys, I don't know if you knew that we were beekeepers in Virginia before we moved to Alaska. Well, I say we were beekeepers. It was really Joe that was the keeper of the bees. I didn't really care for messing with the bees because they scare me. I do like to eat their honey though. So we're definitely planning on getting some more bees here at the Alaska cabin.
Mom, is this honey? Mom?
No, it's wax.
It's like watery.
Honey, it melts down
Oh.
to be melted wax. It's not honey.
Oh. We make candles out of these. If we had wicks.
Yeah, we do have wicks.
You do?
I bought a whole spool of them. right, so I think I am gonna add a little bit more beeswax to the jar, just because right now we've got about that much melted wax, and I think when we dunk the pine cones down in there, they're not gonna be submerged, which is fine, because we're gonna roll them around in there, so we'll get the pine cone coated, but I'm just gonna add a little bit more to make it easier on us. The other thing I don't think I mentioned yet is just make sure when you're doing this that whatever jar you're using to hold your wax, make sure the mouth of it is big enough and wide enough for your pine cones, because you need to be able to lower this down into the melted wax. So if you have like a little mason jar or something, you can't fit these big pine cones down in there.
Unless you have like the little tiny ones, huh?
Yeah. And you can use a bowl too. A lot of times, like, you can use a glass bowl and sit that bowl right on the pan, and that works just fine as well. But I didn't want to ruin any of my good glass bowls for this.
I remember we did the wax once in plastic bowls.
Yeah, do you remember what we made with it? You don't? We've made
Candles?
We've made candles. We've made chapstick. You can make chapstick out of beeswax. Lots and lots of DIY projects. All right, so our beeswax is pretty much all melted down. You can see that there, it's complete liquid, so we're gonna start dunking these pine cones. Ready to dunk some pine cones, P?
Yeah.
Get your shish kebab stick, because you're gonna need it. Now remember, when you take it out, we're gonna hold it over a paper towel to get it over that parchment paper, okay? And use that stick, Parker, to turn it, okay?
Yeah.
Because you want to coat all the little pieces of that pine cone. So turn it, turn it, turn it. Good job, buddy. Did you get every side of it?
I think so.
Okay, put your stick down over on the paper, and then use your paper towel, and don't burn yourself. Let it drip off. That wax is super duper hot, Parker. Once you get most of it off, transfer it over to your paper towel, and then carry it over and set it on the parchment paper to dry. Good job. Got it. Put your paper towel up there so you don't drip wax on the counter. And then set it right next to that one. Good job.
Oh, look at it.
Yep, it's already drying.
It's like white and like tan.
All right, do the next one. Mama to do one?
Yeah.
Oh, that works fine, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Just spin it around. Smells good. It smells like honey.
Yeah. Yeah, if we didn't put any more in there, that it wouldn't be very good.
Yeah, I think it would have been harder to coat all of it.
Yeah. Look at that. So it's got eyeballs on them.
Yeah. Smell good?
Yes.
Yeah, see, it's gotten hard fast, right?
Yeah.
Whenever you're working with beeswax, you gotta move quick because it dries really fast.
Yeah, it's like glue.
Yeah.
Like super glue.
So now, after these are dry, which they're already almost ready, we're gonna give them a second coating, okay? You think Dad's gonna like his fire starters? All right, so all of our pine cones got their first bath in the beeswax. So now, this one here, which was our first one, these ones are already dry and ready to go back in for their second coating, so that's what we're gonna do. right, set it down really quick. Good job. Need to kind of get the side of it.
Yeah, right there, right. Throw it, huh?
You can set it down. Where's the side that we haven't gotten yet?
I think over right here. Need to get the bottom.
Yep. You want it coated really good in salt. All right guys, so our pine cone fire starters are pretty much done. So I'll show you what they look like here. So they are double coated with beeswax and doused in a bunch of salt. And all we're gonna do now is clip these strings off. We can leave a little bit on there, almost like a wick, so we can light this part of the pine cone. And Parker wanted to go outside and give these a shot, try to light one on fire and see if they really work. So we're gonna give them a little test. No, too high, baby. A little bit lower. There you go. Good job. It's almost like a little candle, huh?
Yeah.
All right, so with the beeswax, we still have probably about that much melted beeswax in the jar. I don't want to throw that out because it can be reused again. So I'm just going to put the lid on my glass jar, stick that right underneath my kitchen sink, and it will re-solidify, re-harden, and then we can melt it down next time for another project. All right guys, we are heading outside to see how these pine cone fire starters work. Parker's got a lighter. You ready to do this? What if it explodes?
Then they'll be called pine crackers.
Pine crackers. You sit on the ground, P. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Well, it's staying lit.
Yeah.
Guess that's a good thing. Not really sure if it's the salts or... Look at that, P. Those work good.
They smell good too.
They do smell good. Good job, Parker. How does that feel? That was a fun project for today.
Yeah.
That is awesome. We made you something.
What is it?
It's warming up my hand.
It's a pine cone fire starter.
I know, but which is good? Which is good?
Well, we just like melted the beeswax down and dunked the pine cones in the beeswax, two
Dip
coats.
salt in it.
And then you just put salt all over it while the wax is still wet. And that's it. It just lights on fire. So like you tie a string, because that's how you dunk it, and then you leave a part of the string when you clip it, kind of like a wick, so that you have something to light. I mean, you could just light the pine cone, but look at that, it stays lit, Joe. I'm like super excited. We actually did
Take your
something, it's kind of
gloves.
cool.
Take your gloves off, it's warm.
Burn green, buddy.
Look how
It's like
good it is. I mean, that's awesome.
It's like a little campfire.
Instead of having to like use newspapers and stuff, babe, I have a bucket of them in there.
No.
You can just put this in the little wood burning stove and then there you go. Put some kindling wood on it.
Well, I think you let that fire go out, huh? So
Yeah.
I guess you'll get to start one.
Yeah, I did let the fire go out, so maybe we can try it tonight inside the wood stove.
Yeah.
We had fun making them humpy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was a lot of fun. That little pine cone just went out. It burned for a really long time. The entire pine cone burnt up. How fun. And the really cool thing is we have these little tiny pine cones here. You know, we drop a tree and there's just hundreds of them on the ground. And I think for time's sake, it might even be better to gather up a bunch of those little ones, have these little nugget fire starters. You just dump all of those in a jar of melted wax, strain them out, put them on parchment paper, and just, you know, sprinkle them all with salt super fast, or even put them in like a big gallon-sized Ziploc baggie with salt and just shake them around to coat the pine cones, and have a bucket of those near the wood burning stove. I mean, you can use these, but that seems to me like it would be a lot faster, because, you know, dunking one individual pine cone in the jar at a time obviously takes a lot of time. So using the little pine cones might be something that we'll try in the future, because we've got a lot of them. Are you trying to irritate the subscribers that hate on you because of your lack of safety, Joe? You're such a rebel.
Yeah, I'm like a juggler.
Stop, Joe. You're so bad. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out with me and little Parker today. We had a lot of fun. Hopefully you found this video useful. If you did, hit the like button and subscribe. This is something fun to do with your kids. Even if you don't live off-grid in Alaska and you just have a fireplace or something, get some pine cones. If you don't have pine cones, buy some pine cones. Get some pine cones, get some beeswax, salt. That's all you need, and you can make these adorable little fire starters with your kids. And that's it. Super process. What? I don't know if I want to. Oh gosh. Okay.
Yeah.
We let it go out. No, I'm not gonna say that anyway. All right, let's go. All right, shenanigans with Parker. Bradley has been promoted to a sled dog.
Yeah.
Haven't you, Bee?
He just took off if he wanted.
Ready? You ready? Oh, that's a good boy. Come. Good boy. Come. Bradley, come. Good boy. Go, Bradley, go. Come on. So we put Gunner in the house for a few minutes because he was not allowing Bradley to pull Parker. He kept trying to bite his thigh and just like making him crash, so Gunner's in a timeout while Bradley plays sled dog. You better hold on, Parker. He's gonna take off. Oh gosh. Oh. Oh my gosh. Hold on, Bee. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Oh. Good boy. Come on, Bradley. Come on. Come on. Oh, you're so strong. Bradley, come. Good boy. Good boy. Oh, that's fast. Parker's smart. He knew. He's laughing so hard. I told him, I was like, you better jump out. He's gonna throw you into the cabin. Parker, you aborted the mission.
Come on.
Uh-oh. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Fire. Parker's laughing so hard he's crying. Oh man. That wasn't P. He can't even talk, he's laughing so hard.
Come on. Yay, 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 yay. Oh, good boy. Come on. Come on.
So fast. Whoa. That is some serious power. And he's going uphill.